unless I froze, we should have some people in the chat already. It's not. All right, we don't have anybody in the chat. That or I'm in the wrong channel or something. Lordy me. No, I'm in the right chat. Everybody's late. This is a little embarrassing. Alrighty then. Come on, let me share. Oh, there's 6 of you. Good morning, everybody. Or the 6 people in the chat, rather. You're seeing how crappy my computer is right now because I'm trying to tweet something out. I'm about to give up on it in a second because it's thinking too hard. Am I coming in all right? Or am I roboting? Because with the way that everything is going slow right now, I think that oh, screw this. How's everybody doing this morning? Good morning, Darkheart. I rose. The shining part has yet to come. But I'm working on it. I am so working on it. Let me see here. Are you awake, Nightbot? I could be better. Let me see if I can get Nightbot to wake up. Because I know he's logged in. Come on. Wake up, dude. Yeah. All right. So, over the weekend, we had a couple of things going. I had some fun with my live stream that worked out really well now that I moved it to Saturday. Bounced around on a couple of live streams this morning. If I look like a curly-haired moppet, this is because this is my natural hair and what it looks like when I let it dry. And seeing how we're at high humidity, blow drying it was completely out of the question. So I have got my coffee. I have got my dog lying down behind me, mad at me because I didn't share my breakfast with him this morning. Oh, I think sometimes he just has to get over those kind of things, don't you? So let's see what we got going today for the news. Let's go over here. See if I can do this and how long it's going to take before I start roboting and I have to close out the Oh, I didn't want you to do that. All right. All right, so we have a picture of a courtroom, and in the courtroom is a Jordanian soldier. Don't do that to me again. All right, do that to me again. I don't care. I'm going to move me over here. Reasons. That looks a little bit better. All right, still fooling around with the layout since I don't have the capability to use OBS. So Jordanian soldier kills 2 U.S. troops and gets hard labor for it. Thank you. All right, from out of Amman, Jordan, AP. A military court convinced a Jordanian soldier Monday of killing 3 U.S. military trainers at a Jordan air base and sentenced him to life in prison with hard labor. The defendant, who had pleaded not guilty, has said he opened fire because he feared the base was coming under attack. As he was let out of the room, yay, cool. He finally woke up. Good morning, Wolf Girl, or good afternoon, Wolf Girl, or good night, because I know you work nights. He was let out of the courtroom. First Sergeant Mark Al-Tuwaya said, "I have all the respect for the king, but I was doing my job." The parents of one of the slain U.S. soldiers and the father and sister of another sat quietly as the judge announced his ruling to a crowded court. The trial confirmed that the deceased U.S. service members followed all established procedures when accessing the base, the day of the incident, as we have noted before, the U.S. Embassy in Jordan said in a statement. We are reassured to see the perpetrator brought to justice. Morning, Mitch. I love you too, Mitch. The victims were 27-year-old Staff Sergeant Matthew C. Llewellyn of Kirksville, Missouri, 30-year-old Staff Sergeant Kevin J. McEnroe of Tucson, Arizona, and 27-year-old Staff Sergeant James F. Moriarty of Kerrville, Texas. Jordan is a member of a U.S.-led military coalition against the Islamic State extremists, and there goes my monetization, in neighboring Syria and Iraq. Jordan hosts troops, including trainers from the U.S. and other countries, as part of the anti-Islamic State battle. The military court judge, Colonel Muhammad Al-Afif, said at the start of the trial that the defendant had no known ties to militant groups. This left questions about a possible motive. He said he opened fire because he feared the base was coming under attack. Other guards said they held their fire because they couldn't determine the source of the sound. And he had no intention of killing anyone and felt no resentment toward Americans. However, security camera footage, as described by the bereaved relative, shows the shooting lasted for 6 minutes. Think about that. 6 minutes can last an eternity in the middle of combat, right? They have said the video shows the defendant reloading and shooting at Americans who were waving their hands and yelling, "We're Americans, we're friendly." The video was shown to the family by U.S. law enforcement, but has not been released to the public. In Jordan, life in prison can mean 20 years with time off for good behavior. Earlier this year, a Jordanian soldier who killed 7 Israeli schoolgirls in a 1997 shooting rampage was released after 20 years. So, provided that the footage that they said shows them going, "We're Americans, we're friendly," 6 minutes of firing at 3 military personnel who were stating themselves as U.S. military personnel. Sounds sketchy to me. This guy sounds sketchy to me. I mean, you're sitting here, you're saying you don't hate Americans. They were identifying themselves as Americans and saying they were friendlies. And you're going to take 6 minutes to make sure you kill them? It's a little much for me. What do you guys think? I try to say hello to everybody in my live chat. Wolf Girl. Yep, I get it, Mitch. I totally get the reference. One on the list is... So now we get to... Oh, come on, computer. Here, and this is going to be under health. And under health. Health and science. Yep. All right, here we go. And I'll put it down here again. Plan plays to a tough room. The young. Hey, No Name. How you doing this morning? Carla K. Johnson, Washington, D.C. AP. Julian Sen Raymont isn't convinced he needs to buy health insurance when he loses coverage under his dad's plan in a couple of years. No matter what happens in the policy debate in Washington or how cheap the plans are or are not. No, they don't always have your best interests at heart, Mitch. The 24-year-old musician hasn't known a world without a healthcare safety net, but he hates being forced by law to get coverage and doesn't think he needs it. I'm playing the odds, said St. Raymond, who lives in Woodstock, Illinois. He will go without insurance, he said, until he starts a family or gets a job with benefits. I feel comfortable I could get care if I needed it. St. Raymond's outlook could pose a major problem for Republicans building replacement for the Affordable Care Act. Insurers need young and healthy enrollees like him to buy insurance because they keep premium down for everyone. The current law attempts to do that by mandating that everyone get coverage. Yep, that's the current law, or they peg you with a fine I don't know how many years I've gone without my refund being as big as it should have been because of Obama. Thank you, Obama. The Republican plan replaces that mandate with penalties for those who let coverage lapse, and aims to entice young adults by allowing insurance companies to sell bare bones coverage that could be cheaper. Language is still being nailed down for the retooled bill, but it includes a proposal from conservative Senator Ted Cruz, a Republican out of Texas, which would let insurers sell plans with minimal coverage as long as they also sell policies that meet strict coverage requirements set by the Obama-era health care law. Could deny the slimmer coverage to people with pre-existing conditions or charge them more. Georgetown University health policy researcher Sabrina Corlett said young adults may find the cruise plans more affordable, but they should read the fine print. Isn't there always fine print with this government stuff? All right, scrolling up a little bit. You may end up with unexpected costs, Corlett said, and if, God forbid, you end up needing better coverage, you'll be blocked from that coverage for 6 months. To encourage continuous coverage, the GOP plan installs a 6 months waiting period for anyone with a 2-month gap in coverage. The skimpy policies won't qualify as continuous coverage. Is it me, or are they trying to make this sound a lot like car insurance? Industry also sharply questioned this approach. In a statement last week, the industry group, America's Health Insurance Plans, said the proposal would create an unlevel playing field that would lead to unstable health insurance markets. Other features of the proposal aimed at young adults include allowing them to stay on their parents' plans until they turn 26, as they can now, and shifting costs to older enrollees. Current law restricts how much insurers can charge for insurance based on age. Obamacare limits the ratio to 3-to-1, meaning 50-year-old can be charged only 3 times as much as a 20-year-old. The Republican plan shifts that ratio to 5-to-1. More flexible pricing could attract young adults, the Congressional Budget Office said in a review of a previous draft of the Senate plan. But other provisions, including cuts to Medicaid, would result in 22 million people losing insurance over the next decade. All ages and income levels would have higher uninsured rates. For low-income young adults, CBO said, the uninsured rate would double. Of course it would. It doubles for them, so it can, like, everybody that is senior age and up. At least that's the way I'm reading this. If I'm reading this correctly. Yeah. A CBO analysis of the new proposal is expected this week. I'll keep my eye on it and see if I can get that CBO proposal. On the whole, the bill is bad for young people, said Jen Mishry, executive director of the youth advocacy group Young Invincibles. It is particularly concerning for the most vulnerable young people, those who are low income and folks with pre-existing conditions. Americans ages 18 to 34 remain more unlikely to be insured than older age groups, but the rate of uninsured young Americans dropped under Obamacare to 16% from 29%. Public health care, all states are, yeah, I know, we're freaking backwards. Here. Republican proposals to ban federal funding of Planned Parenthood for a year would affect 34-year-old Renee Wassel. The rest of the story is just anecdotes. People saying, you know, why they're not interested in the health care bill, why they wouldn't sign up for the new one, lamenting, and I'm trying to keep that kind of stuff out of the news. The American Act is going to be a very volatile, exactly, Mitch. It's going to be a very volatile thing until they can either completely get rid of it or they can actually come up with a retooled part that's easy. Because I'm sorry, don't tell me that I don't know what's in it until it passes, because I don't want to have to read a Bible this thick to figure out what is covered and what isn't, and what fucking, you know, what premiums I'm going to have to pay and what copays I'm going to have to pay. I want it simple. I really want it fucking simple. And the government can't do anything simple. They have got to dilute it. They've got to make it so diluted that you need 10 lawyers and a committee to understand it and break it down. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. Let me see here. For them. Nope, that's lifestyle. Technology is after world. As soon as I can find it. Yep, there it is. It's under here. Rather interesting, if I do say so myself. Oh, wrong one. All right. Yeah, the picture down here, for those of you who are not aware, that is not Kim Jong-un. That's Kim Jong-il. That's Un's dad. And that is actually the South Korean President Moon, who we're going to read about in just a second. Let me see. All right, here we go. South Korea offers talks to North Korea. Morning, Sir Wolfie. How are you? A clean repeal, then a replace rhetorical. I completely understand. I completely agree with you on that one. Because it's absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. It's just, and they want to replace one Bible with another and expect everybody to freaking read it. Yeah, we're going through that cringe article today. Oh, you picked out a cringe article. We'll get to that in a minute. South Korea offers talks to North Korea. Hyungjin Kim, Seoul, South Korea, AP. South Korea on Monday offered talks with North Korea to ease animosities along their tense border and resume reunions of families separated by their war in the 1950s. It was unclear how North Korea will react since it remains suspicious of the new South Korean President Moon Jae-in's outreach to it, but Moon's overture, the first formal offer of talks since his inauguration in May, to use dialogue to defuse the international standoff over North Korea's weapons programs, despite having condemned the North's first intercontinental ballistic missile test on July 4th and vowed a firm response. If realized, the talks would be the first inter-Korean dialogue since December 2015. Ties between the Koreas have plunged over the North's expanding missile and nuclear programs and the hardline policies of Moon's conservative predecessors. Let me get me some more coffee. I got to fill this up. Warm it up just a little bit. Take a sip and keep going. Okay. South Korean Vice Defense Minister So Chu-suk proposed on Monday that defense officials from the two Koreas hold talks at the border village Jam on Friday on how to end hostile activities along the border. Red Cross Chief Kim Song-hyang told a news conference that it wants separate talks at the border village on August 1st to discuss family reunions. North Korea's state media didn't immediately respond to South Korea's proposals. No surprise there, right? But analysts say North Korea may accept the defense talks because it wants South Korean army to halt loudspeaker broadcast at the border that began after North Korea's fourth nuclear test in January 2016. Prospects for talks on family reunions are less good because North Korea has previously demanded that South Korea repatriate some North Korean defectors living in South Korea before any reunions take place, according to the analyst. Earlier this month, Moon said in a speech in Germany that he's willing to meet North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un if certain conditions are met. Moon also said the two Koreas must halt hostile activities along the border, restart family reunions, and cooperate on the 2018 Winter Olympics to be held in Pyeongchang, South Korea. Moon has said he will use both dialogue and pressure to resolve the standoff over North Korea's nuclear and missile programs, but he has achieved little progress, with North Korea test firing a series of newly developed missiles. Korea is believed to possess hundreds of missiles capable of striking South Korea and Japan. Its recent test of an ICBM put it one step closer to its goal of developing nuclear-armed missiles capable of reaching anywhere in the United States. After the ICBM launch, Kim said he would never negotiate over his weapons programs as long as U.S. hostility and nuclear threats persist. The two Koreas have been divided since the 1950-1953 Korean War ended with an armistice, not a peace treaty. About 28,500 American troops are stationed in South Korea currently. Yeah, I don't know. I have a personal little phrase that usually gets to me. And my little phrase is, you can't deal with a lunatic because he never makes any sense to anyone else. And I think it's going to apply here. I mean, you know, I have to commend Moon for reaching his hand out and wanting to talk. But Moon, in making his demands to want the people who defected back to North Korea and all those other demands that I'm sure he's going to make before any talks take place, is, to me, it's an example of the fact that he's not willing to bend. In another article I read this morning, he said he wasn't even going to entertain a yes answer until South Korea and the U.S. stopped their posturing or their practice maneuvers, because he was considering that threatening maneuvers, and they needed to stop doing that if any negotiations were going to take place. So there is that. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be considered. He did. He totally went off the rails. As I like to often say, to Ronan's chagrin, the boy is 3 plates short of a full picnic spread. He's nuttier than his father. Kim Jong-il wasn't all there either, but Kim Jong-un is way past it. Way past it. Technology. Oh, looking for technology. I had to read this one before we get to the cringe article because it's cool to me. And I figure we need a break before we get to the cringe, so why not something totally cool, right? Let me see. Technology. Think. That is a boat, people. Looking boat, but it's a boat. But self-fueling boat starts its 6-year world trip. Paris, AP, a boat that fuels itself is setting off around the world from Paris on a 6-year journey that its designers hope will serve as a model for emissions-free energy networks of the future. Energy Observer will use its solar panels, wind turbines, and a hydrogen fuel cell system to power its trip. The €5 million, which is $5.25 million boat, heads off Saturday from Paris toward the Atlantic. The futuristic-looking 30.5-meter or 100-foot boat will rely on sun or wind during the day and tap into its hydrogen reservoirs at night. It produces its own hydrogen through electrolysis of seawater. Originally designed in 1983, the boat enjoyed a successful career in open sea sailing races before skippers Frederic Hirel and Victorien Roussard, a French research institute, converted it into the Energy Observer project. I'm going to move this picture up because I think that is a cool-ass looking boat. That is a weird-looking, futuristic, goofy thing, but I think it's really freaking cool. Of course, maybe it's just me because I like the ocean and I like to fish on the ocean, but I think that's one cool-ass looking boat. I don't think you can fish off of it, though. That would be a downfall for me. That would definitely be a downfall for me. Oh, okay. Let's close this out. Let me see. Where is that? Yep, here we go. Now for our cringe article of the day before we move on to our shout-outs. Of you about you can thank Wolf Girl. because it was her idea. Take a lot of power and a good amount of hydrogen. You are very correct, Milk. All right, so today in Cringe, you are reading this correctly. Sex partner must say yes every 10 minutes or it's rape. 10th graders are taught this in Florida now. I read that correctly. It won't be long before college compliance officers are earning 7 figures, judging by the confusing education that high schoolers are getting on sex and consent. The New York Times reports that 10th graders at a high school in California are learning to keep time during any intimate encounter. Encounter doesn't slip. Yeah, I know, no name. It gets cringier as I go on. Consent from the person you are kissing or more is not merely silence or a lack of protest, Shafia Zaloom, a health educator at the Urban School of San Francisco, told the students. It had to be California, right? They listened with rapt attention, but several didn't disguise how puzzled they felt. I don't know who dictated the 10 minutes, Carrot. What does that mean? You have to say yes every 10 minutes, asked Aiden Ryan, 15, who sat near the front of the room. Pretty much, says Miss Zaloom answered. It's not a timing thing, but whoever initiates things to another level, ask. Well, of course, it's going to turn into a timing thing if the choice is between every 10 minutes or the wildly subjective initiates things to another level. I know, right? Consent stopwatches. Tick. All right. Keep saying yes so we can keep screwing. All right. You said yes. We'll keep going now. This is the new normal in California because of sex ed changes signed into law by Governor Jerry Brown this month that require classes to teach affirmative consent, or yes means yes. Duh. Everyone's favorite gadfly on today's wacky new rules for campus sex, George Washington University law professor John Banzolf tells the Times this is not at all helpful. No kidding. Real helpful? Right. The affirmative consent standard is nobody really works that way. The problem with teaching this to high school students is that you're only going to sow more confusion. They're getting mixed messages depending on where they go afterward. Yeah, that happened. Yeah. Oh, well, that's 3 minutes. Yeah, I know. It's me. Oh, goodness. Hope that wasn't too much ear rape. Oh, I gotta have a mute button handy. The first and hope. Please load. I talk with him every once in a while on Twitter. He's very insightful, and he is one of the sciences that I am very much interested in. He is an archaeologist. This is Castrejo. He has around 1,000 subs like me. He has 1,000 subscribers like me. He does archaeology videos, and he also does live streams on his channel. And this is very, very interesting if you want to get a little deeper into archaeology and into a little, anthropological history. He's really, really insightful with the way he presents his information. So once again, his name is Castrejo, 67 to be exact. Check out his channel. Hopefully you'll give him a like and a subscribe on a couple of his videos. So I'm going to back this up for a minute, and we're going to go to the next one. And this time I'll remember to open a tab because I was dumb the first time around. All right. Let's see here. Open link in new tab. Here we go. He has a smooth, sultry voice you can listen to all day. He has insightful podcasts and wonderful response videos. And the name of the channel is Dolphin Radio. And for those of you who will get the reference, everyone for all the fish. And this is Dolphin Radio. As you can see, he does podcasts And he also does response videos. He's very, very good at what he does. And he has a very smooth voice that's easy to listen to. Hey, Mariel, how you doing? Let me see. Next one. Okay. If you're wondering in the middle of live casts what, and then all of a sudden you're giggling because he cracked a joke, this is his channel, ladies and gentlemen. Is Who Flung Poo. All one word with a question mark at the end of it. He does live streams and he does response videos, and he only has 65 subscribers. So come on over here, check out his content, and if you like it, like normal, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. His name is Who Flung Poo, and he's a pretty cool dude despite his name. His name because, you know, Who Flung Poo. At least it's easy to remember, right? And that's Who, H-U, not W-H-O. Next one on the call out today. Last one, if my computer will let me click on it and open it. Is another member of the United States military. He does podcasts as well. He also did a fundraiser over the weekend for veterans charities. Many people call him Sam, but his channel is called the Politipod. So just in case he watches this video, for those of you in the United States that support our troops, please type in the live chat, "Thank you, Sam, for your service," because Sam, our freedom, and you're one of the brave in the U.S. military that fights every day to make sure we can say what we want to say and how we want to say it. Thank you. And the daily opens up their live stream. Has below it links that I also have in the description to two veterans charities he was raising. So go check him out, or go check him out by visiting this particular live stream in the description, and check out the charities as well. If you're on the street and you in your area that need help, please thank them. And being the daughter of a brother or a Vietnam veteran, they will not take help if they consider it charity most of the time. So show them respect. If you have something to do and you need help, most of them are willing to help. Help them whenever and wherever you can when you see them. And that is our Politipod. My buddies right there that I like to live stream with. All right, now, funny. Today's Twitter hashtag is hashtag movie. So I can still see the chat. You guys can still see me. Resources. Oh, come on, finish loading. All right, here we go. And now I can't see my chat because my computer's screwy. All right. Hello, my chat just disappeared. Okay, there we go. Everybody. Food a movie. Get ready for a lot of puns in this one. An American werewolf in London. I didn't kill my wife. It was a one-armed turkey. Bicentennial flan. When Harry fed Sally. The hills have fries. And I gotta move this over. Gold fingering potatoes. 5 easy pizzas. Man with the golden legume. Smokey and the bean dip. Cool runner beans. 7 breads for 7 brothers. Risotto and Juliet, Chalk Ice Station, Zebra, Assault on Peaches, 13. I told you there was a lot of that Friday. Big Mac in Little China, 50 Shades of Gravy, There Will Be Blood Sausage, Iron Mango, Men in Black Licorice, Bread Calm, The Man with the Golden Bun, The Hills Have Pies, To Grill a Mockingbird, Bok Choy Story, Gladiators. Oh man, Help Yourself to More Pie, Kramer versus Kramer in Kitchen Stadium, Forest Rump Roast, Brave Hearts of Palm, Matrix Cereal, Mission Impopsicle. All right, they thought about that pun. The Cooking of Everything, Runaway Gravy Train, Fry Hard, The Drumstick Line, Vines, The Lime Shank Redemption, Strawberry Shortcake. Oh, wait, that's a real movie. The Curious Case of Benjamin's Mutton, The Most Violent Hero, The French Confection, and The Brusseler. That's your hashtag for the day. I hope you guys had fun with the puns. If not, I hope you cringed much. I know I did when I had to read through that list the first time. In the links below are my tip jar and my website if you wish to support this particular live stream. I do run it Monday through Friday. Get any DMs telling me that there were any scheduled live streams for tonight? If you do, and if you are a content creator and you do scheduled live streams, please DM me on Twitter, or if you're in my Discord, DM me on Discord for the days and times. And don't forget the time zone of the live stream, and I will shout it out right before I end the stream for the day. Yep, we're getting ready to go. Thank you guys for coming to the show. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Until next time, oops, I'm going to put this over here. Until next time, may your coffee ever flow, may your caffeine be ever strong, and may you have an absolutely marvelous Monday.